Welcome everybody to our show today, Body by Brenda. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. We've got a panel, then we're going to speak for about 40 to 45 minutes, and then you, the audience, are invited to put your questions in chat, and we'll, at the end of our 45-minute panel, take your questions, as many as we can, and answer them as best as we can. All that we ask is that you mute yourself during the panel discussion so that the panelists can be heard. I'm Susan Steen, former EVP at Warner Brothers and longtime friend of Brenda Swanson and client as well. And I'd like to introduce Mitzi Martin Todd, who is also here, a panelist.
Hi, I'm Mitzi Martin. I am also a longtime friend of Brenda Swanson's and client.
And Brenda, can you possibly introduce yourself? This is Brenda Swanson.
Of course. I'm Brenda Swanson, and I am the queen of sculpt yoga, and I am all about teaching women and men, but especially women, because we tend to get osteoporosis and we tend to have other problems. Keep healthy, keep strong bones, and stay their best.
Are we going to have a video now, I think? Brenda?
Are we on? Yeah, we can put in the video right now, the first video. Sure. It'll explain a little bit more about who I am and what I'm about, and it's really short, so enjoy.
Hi, everybody. I'm CEO and creator of Body by Brenda, and Body by Brenda means exactly that. It's not just what you put in your body or the way that you work out your body or what you put on your body. So I have created a sculpt yoga class that actually lengthens and strengthens muscles. It builds your bones. We all need stronger bones. And at 58, for heaven's sakes, after 35, you've got to be doing some sort of weight management training. So the Body by Brenda, with the outside of the body, I created body butters and bath crystals so that we have soft, supple, super luxurious, wonderful, beautiful skin, which is not so easy to come by when you live in California or other dry areas of the planet, including Florida, where it's very humid. I still get very dry. So the butters and the salts are key to keeping the outside of the body wonderful. My nutrition program is a great program. It not only helps you lose weight, it'll help you gain weight if you wish, and it will help you build strong muscles. So all three of those go along with the nutrition program. And my yoga sculpt, my sculpt yoga, I should say, is coming up on a new platform. It is so exciting that I get to teach from my home studio to the whole world. It doesn't just have to be the people at a Florida studio when I'm in Florida, or at an LA studio when I'm in LA, or when I'm across the bloody pond in Italy. So I've covered all the times. You guys, I am just beyond excited that this is finally happening. We don't even have to go to a yoga studio now. I mean, it's crazy. In any case, I wanted to just introduce myself and just let you know what I'm up to and who I am. And that would be still called Brenda Swanson, and it's the Body by Brenda Sculpt Yoga Series, nutrition program, and what you put on, in, and out your body. Signing off. Namaste, everyone.
So Brenda, you make it really clear in that video, and I know you've made it really clear to me, that it's all about consistent movement, moving, particularly the over 50 crowd. But the part I can't quite believe is that I've seen in people over 50 and myself at 60 get abs and muscle definition that I've never had before. Can you explain that to us?
Yes, sure. My mantra about movement is all about you have to keep moving if you want to stay young, fit, healthy, and have energy in your life. The problem is that when we stop working out and we get older and we go through menopause and we have children and we start to get fluffy around the mid area, and women go to the gym and they try to get their muscles back and it just doesn't seem to work, whether they're with private trainers or it doesn't matter. It just doesn't come back. And also the thing is that people tend to think that at a certain age, you don't build muscle anymore. And that's completely false. And it's proved in my class for both of you ladies, I know, and everybody else that's in it. You build muscles, you sculpt your muscles. what happens is people go to the gym for a year, work out with these private trainers, and they mostly use like 2 to 3 pound weights. So when you're using 2 to 3 pound weights, all you're doing is building more fluff around your arm. You're not defining the muscle. You must pick up 5, 8, or 10 pounds when you're doing the sculpt yoga. And we use the heavier weights on the lower part of our body and the lighter weights on the upper part of our body. And obviously you start out with 5 pounds and then you move up to 8 and 10 when you get to that level. So you're building muscles all the time when you're doing sculpt yoga. And it's so important that we have those, you guys, because women, osteoporosis, bones, it's frightening to think about what we have to really keep up with, because we tend to get those kind of things quicker than men do. And a lot of men don't get it at all. So we need to move, guys. We need to stay moving. Ladies, I should say, and gents.
So, Mitzi, can you tell us a little bit about how you have found the workouts with Brenda to be? Oops, you're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. So for me, I'm in my 50s, and what I found was happening, especially during this quarantine, is I was working out and walking and running and hiking and kind of having no change and getting really frustrated. So then I started to take some sort of YouTube tutorials, and I would just do that for 5 minutes and walk away. And so I was getting a little frustrated with my body not bouncing back as quickly as I had liked. And Brenda had reached out to me about sculpt yoga. So I started to take her class, and right away, I actually felt like I was hallucinating, because I thought, I look so much better after just 1 hour. And it was difficult for me because I actually stayed the whole hour, because I had a teacher who was looking in and saying, Mitzi, you need to put your right foot down. Mitzi, you need to bring your arms back. So I actually had a real teacher online. So my experience has been great. I do have a 6-pack. I'm very happy about it. And I feel stronger, and I feel more flexible. It was very empowering for me to be able to take control of my body through sculpt yoga.
And see some results, right?
And see some results, and see results soon enough that I didn't get frustrated and move on to something else.
So happy about that.
Me too.
And so my experience has been that I've known Brenda for a long time, and she's been inspirational to me as a fitness aficionado. But my main point is I really want to ride my dressage, and I need to be flexible and have balance and have muscle tone. So what was very affirming for me was when my trainer said to me, out of the blue, I can really see your legs are toning up. That was just fantastic, because those qualities are absolutely required in dressage. And this is the first time I've ever had that experience. I had a one-on-one trainer for over a year and never saw the results I've seen with Brenda. Brenda, tell us a little bit about, what you're offering the audience and the public.
Absolutely, I'd love to. Well, in the sculpt yoga, you can expect a high intensity workout. You can, as Susan said, she's worked out for a year with a private trainer and not getting a lot of results. So the reality is that we know now that we have to lift heavier weights to sculpt the body. And what I'm offering to everybody today is a 10% off of the classes for a month. So it's a month long, and you get 10% off. Yes, 10% off, sorry. And you can take all the yoga classes that you want. I think that 10% off brings it down to like $8 a class. So it's really a no-brainer to take it. It's wonderful. And you too will see a change. Hi, Karen.
So Brenda, that is an amazing deal, and I'm glad to know that people will get that opportunity. I also just want to add that Brenda, for me, has not only been about the fitness, but has also taught me a great deal about maintaining weight, or in my case, losing weight, maintaining nutrition, which is obviously a very important part of this, but then also the cycle of feeling better because you're working out, that leads you to want to look better and follow such things as using Brenda's Body Butter, because you want your skin to not be saggy. You want your skin to feel hydrated. And one thing leads to another, and it's one of the few instances of a win-win. So I think that's really important. I also want to ask Brenda to explain something that I honestly didn't know about until she pointed it out, and that is breath. Sounds so obvious, but there's a great deal of differentiation between how you breathe in a yoga class and how you breathe in sculpt yoga. And I had no idea of this. So Brenda, perhaps you can explain this to everyone.
Absolutely. So when you're doing regular yoga, there's a little bit of a difference between the breath compared to when you're doing sculpt yoga. And you do a lot of inhaling on the upward movement in regular yoga and exhaling on your pushing back or on the down movement. In sculpt yoga, when you have the weights, you're not twisting yourself into a frenzy, first of all. It's more about building the muscle. So when you're and taking the belly to the back of your spine, it's really important. You can build muscle and a six-pack just by breathing the right way. So when you're coming into, let's say, a warrior two, and you inhale and come back, when you exhale, you draw your tummy to the back of your spine. So you're drawing your tummy back to the back of your lumbar, and then you go into your side angle or your warrior two. So what happens is when we breathe, you breathe on the exhale coming up with your weight so that you're resisting on the way down and you're exhaling and bringing your arm up. You're using the heavier weight so you get the definition. And this is included in the legs too, like when we're doing squats. There's a big difference when you're doing a squat in or a yogi squat in yoga compared to when you're doing it in sculpt yoga. You've got your 10-pound weights and your hip creases, and you're really working the way up, almost like breath of fire. And every time you do that, you tighten up your belly. As a matter of fact, we have a little video on how to do a proper crunch, for example, and that will explain to you a little bit more. So if we could put that video on. And I also see one of my other students, Karen Treaster, on here. Welcome, Karen. So good to see you. This is awesome. And my friend Beth, another student. Great.
Also, everybody, the proper way to do a crunch. I want to show you how to do that so you get a six-pack too. Okay, here's what we do. You lay down on the floor. You get your sacrum down on the earth. I'm going to keep my knees bent. I'm going to bring my hands behind my head. I'm dropping back down. The improper way to do a crunch is coming up and coming down, coming up and coming down. You're letting the stomach come loose. You want to inhale and then exhale on your way up. And as you exhale on your way up, you're drawing your tummy to the back of your spine. So it's inhale, inhale, and you can see my shoulders never go back to the earth. Also, my arms are spread wide apart and I'm looking up at the ceiling. I'm not crunching my neck in. I'm not doing any funky stuff like that because it does nothing. So you want to go keep the shoulder blades off the earth, keep the tummy crunched in. Every time you exhale, bring the tummy in. Every time you inhale, expand it. That's the way to get a proper six-pack. So I hope you guys all got a little something out of this, and you will do a proper crunch and get your six-pack too, or come join me on your mat at 12 noon Eastern time and 9 a.m. LA time, 5 p.m. London, and 6 o'clock the rest of Europe, and get on your mat with me and do some sculpting boot camp. Ciao for now.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, is pulling that tummy to the back of your spine and really exhaling and inhaling. I always say, push out the little Buddha belly. So you're going to inhale and push out the little Buddha belly, and then you're going to exhale and bring it in. Almost like breath of fire, if you guys know what breath of fire is. And that's where you're breathing out your nose most of the time and bringing in your tummy. Except when we're doing the yoga sculpt, you want to inhale through your mouth and sometimes exhale, inhale through your nose and sometimes exhale out your mouth, because you want to cool down the body. You will build a sweat. It's awesome. It's really like, it's the greatest workout. I never thought that I would do yoga and with loud music and weights, and yoga was always more about, you know, the namaste and the meditation. But really, honestly, I went to take this class one time, and the next thing I knew, I was in teacher training. And before I knew it, I was like, okay, so this is great for the bones. My mom had bone cancer. Moving on, let's just teach this yoga to everybody and teach women in their 50s and up, and even younger, to start working out now, because without movement, as I said earlier, you're not going to live a long life. You're not going to be healthy. You're going to get stiff. You're not going to feel good, and you're going to be in pain. So along with that, we don't want to have any of that. Then there is nutrition and stuff. I think Susan's going to probably ask me about. I have a feeling.
I was just going to ask Mitzi if you found the experience of breathing as valuable as I did. Because
I feel, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what made the shift super quickly. I kind of felt like I was doing everything all wrong until I took Brenda's class. And I feel like the breathing is what really gave me the quick results. I mean, that's just was my personal experience. I feel like it's kind of a tough workout. I mean, maybe I'm always like huffing and puffing, and Brenda's like, Mitzi, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm tired, Brenda. So I definitely, now I'm stronger. And now that I have the breath, the understanding of the breath, and then Brenda is guiding us the whole time. I definitely think that's where the results come in, where the quicker results come in.
I agree. I think I never got the breath. No trainer I've ever had talked about the breath. And that's really what defined the results. So I won't continue to talk about breath, but I think it's really important because I'm breathing right now. Brenda, why don't you tell us a little bit about your other offerings?
Well, I have a body care line, as we talked about a little earlier, because I have very dry skin and I was not being able to get rid of it through any cream, any butter, full on cocoa butter, anything I put on my body, I was reapplying after 10 minutes. So I spent a couple of years in my kitchen to make the best product that I possibly could that you can put on your skin. It stays on your skin and it soaks into your skin. And you use it as soon as you get out of the shower, and you keep your body slightly damp. And then you put the cream on. You don't need a lot of it, butter, I should say, because it's definitely a butter. And you put that on, and it soaks right into your skin. And if you put a towel around you for a little bit and lay in your bed and watch a little TV, it just soaks and goes right into your skin, and it's really wonderful. And then I have a nutrition plan for losing weight and also for building more muscle if you're tiny and you need to build more muscle and you don't have any muscle, a way to gain weight. First of all, through the yoga and sculpt, and second of all, through a nutrition plan. And like skincare, nutrition plans are all different for all sorts of people. Nobody is a cookie cutter and nobody's the same. So I try to, when I get a client that needs to lose weight, find out exactly how much weight they want to lose and where their problem areas are, which usually for women is in the tummy area and around the hips, and sometimes the bum, but hey, let's face it, big bums are in today. But you want to have a nice tiny waist along with your big bum and maybe not too big of a bum. And then I have a skincare analysis program that I do. I have a couple of friends that make completely organic skincare, and like the cleansers, the skincare, the serums, and you use 3 products on your face and that's all you use. And I suggest to most women to get a peel every couple of months or 4 times a year because it helps keep our skin smoother and gets rid of some of the dark spots, etc. And most important, ladies, you guys, everybody, when you go outside, I don't care if you're driving in your car, put sunscreen on your face, put sunscreen on the back of your hands. It's one of the places that we age the most, and in our chest area, our décolleté. So it's really important that you load on the sunscreen. I don't care if you go to the beach and your hands look white, and mine do look that way, and so does my face because it's got so much zinc in it. And just definitely keep your skin out of the sun, because not only does it make our skin crazy looking and spots that aren't really freckles, it also makes your skin saggy. So you got to be really careful. You can spend one day in the sun and the next day you can notice on your skin and your legs that your legs are a little bit more loose, and it's crazy, but I'm telling you, I'm 57 and I've seen it. And my whole thing is to tell other women so they don't have this problem. So that's the other things that I do. I'm a full roundhouse of like inside your body, what you put in it, what you put on it, and how you move it. So I believe that everyone can have a nice, crazy, great fit body, whether you're 40 or you're 70. And I've had people in my class that are 70, 75 that have improved their tennis games because of it, have improved their golf game, their golf swing. And it makes me so happy. You know, it's what I can give out and put out into the world. And I'm all about supporting women and all about supporting people in getting healthy and feeling great all the time.
I also think you want to maybe mention the conversation we had about legs, and that's
Oh, yeah.
meaningful.
And balance. And yeah, and balance, especially as we tend to get a little more grown up, as I like to say, as opposed to older. The first thing that goes is the muscles in our legs. So I watched both my parents have this problem, and I've seen it quite a lot. You have to keep squatting, you have to keep using weights, and you have to keep your legs strong. First of all, for balance, and second of all, because when you get more grown up, let's face it, it gets harder and harder to get in and out of a chair. That's why so many elderly people have big high rises on their toilets, and they have chairs and furniture that's a lot higher now than it used to be, because they can't get up and down. And the last thing we want to do is at 50, 60 years old, have really weak legs that we can't even get in and out of a chair on without like moving ourselves around the chair and pushing yourself up and making a big deal out of it. So it's so important that, and the sculpt yoga helps not only that, but it helps you with balance, just from doing a tree pose to whatever. And I'm, for one, need to work on my balance so much. It's not even funny. And I have a few students in my class that are just great. And I love that. Absolutely love it.
And I think you also mentioned to me that there's a different kind of balance you like to focus on.
That's the one that's in my balance of meditation and mindfulness, which is here on my poster, which I don't know if you can see, but if we're not happy on the inside and we look great on the outside, it doesn't matter. You're still feeling like crap. And let's face it, meditation, mindfulness. I actually have a mindfulness coach on the phone, on the Zoom right now, and she's awesome. And you have to go within, and you have to find out within what are you manifesting? What are you wanting for your life? What do you keep repeating to yourself in your head? What's your story? Because we can all change that story. We can all make up a new story and start using that, and using that in the way that you're affirming it every day. You're now telling yourself, oh God, well, what have I done wrong now here? You're now telling yourself, like, you've done a great job today. You've done awesome. Look at all the things you got done, as opposed to, oh, I still have this to do, and oh, I still have that to do. And you build up this resistance inside yourself that doesn't make you happy. So you want to look good on the outside, and you want to feel happy and content on the inside. So I suggest meditation and prayer and getting quiet, having some quiet time, just to balance everything out in your body. We work out, we talk to people, we work all day, and there's a time every day that you should get quiet. I actually do it both morning and night, meditation and guided meditations, my own meditations. And even when you're doing like yin yoga, you get a nice meditation in there because you're holding positions a lot longer. And I actually teach that as well. So you want to have that nice level balance, and not just to get off the toilet.
So your overall mantra is beauty, body,
Balance.
and balance. Yes. So I just wanted to ask you, Brenda, if there's anything else you want to add, because I know you do a boot camp.
Yeah, I do. I have a booty boot camp, which you guys are going to hear about the next time that I'm on, and you'll like that too.
Okay, great. Well, I think this is a great conversation, and I'm glad for our audience participation.
Me too. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, it's been terrific. So if we can answer any questions, we'd love to. Keep putting your questions in chat. We're good to answer as many as we can.
I see. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Susan.
Oh, no. Let's see.
I see Gary has a question here about how many classes are in a month. There's 3 classes a week, so there's 12 classes a month, and it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And like I said before, I made it in the video you saw. I've made the time and for the East Coast to be noon, so I could have my LA clients do it at 9. And my people in London can do it at 5. And then I have, for modeling for so many years, people in Italy, and I also teach in Italy and in Germany and in France. So they all can come on at 6 o'clock. So I made it at a nice time that everybody can do what they're doing. And also when I go to those other countries, I'm not like up at midnight trying to teach a sculpt yoga class and really want to be sleeping. So it was very fair to everyone, including myself. And that's what that is. So that's here in a month. And then, hi, Karen. My birthday,
Ah,
yeah, we could have an online party. My birthday is July 21st. And as I said, I'm 58, so that's 1962, which every time I scroll through things and they want to know the date you're born, I feel like I keep scrolling, scrolling and scrolling, and it never comes up. But it does.
and also John has shared a couple of links, which is really important. There's a link to videos you can see Brenda's workouts, and then there's a link that's very easy to get on and just sign up for classes. And it's very easy to sign up, and you can do it in advance and have your week all planned out if you like. It's quite easy.
And it drops right into your calendar for you. So, you know, whatever, how many ever classes you sign up for the month, whether you actually are able to make it or not, it will drop into your calendar. So it's automatically there and you can just hit the Zoom.
Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, do you guys have any questions? Anybody have any questions?
Do your butters work for men?
Yes, they do. They absolutely do. You know, and most of the time, men use the butters on their face, and they use it after they shave.
And I think there's a question here about poor balance, Brenda. Do you see that?
Yes, absolutely. You can totally do the classes. This is what's going to help build your balance. You're going to get better balance from doing the class, and you're going to have stronger legs. So that also helps with your balance.
Yeah, I can add that the yoga poses are such that when you first start them, you'll recognize how out of balance you might be.
Yeah.
Important.
I mean, look, guys, nobody's perfect, and yoga is like life. You know, every day is different. Some days you're really on target, and some days you're falling over yourself. So, and yoga is not a competition. Yoga is seriously something that is for yourself. You know, you go inward, you meditate through movement. It's not about competing with the person that's next to you or the other person that's on the Zoom and carrying on, like doing handstands and flipping around or whatever, which I don't usually do in my classes because it's more about building the strength and building your balance and having a better body when we grow up more, because that's the problem. So the more grown up we get, the harder it gets to move, the harder it gets for a lot of things. So we want to keep that.
And there's a question about weights from Peggy.
Yeah. Hey, Pegs. You know, heavier weights are definitely better, because when you're using those lighter weights, Peg, it really does. It just builds more fluff around your muscles. And, you know, even when we're doing crunches in my class, we use weights for the crunches, and it's at least 5 or 8 pounds. And the crunches are you usually hold your hands over your head, over your solar plexus or your chest area. So you're not having the weights completely over your head, but you're using the 5-pounders. So when you're going here or you're going here, you're always building the muscle. You're always creating that definition. And with the lighter weights, it just doesn't do it. Never has. I mean, I remember myself going to a gym and getting a private trainer and lifting 3-pound weights, 15 reps 3 times, and nothing ever happened. So yeah. Don't go for the 2 and 3 pounds. I mean, if you're really grown up and you're not very strong, start with the 3 to 5 pounds. Start with 2 if you have to, but you're going to always build up to really build the muscle.
We have another question about, and it's a good one from John, about hereditary nerve problems.
Well, one thing great about yoga, regular yoga and sculpt yoga, is that it calms the central nervous system. So there's moves that you can do that help you do that. And that's really super important. I don't know if your nerves, if it's nerve ends that are hitting each other, or what kind of nerve problem you're having. Maybe it's going to come up here. But it does calm your central nervous system. So it would be just fine for you. And, you can come try it. And if it bothers you, I tend to watch everybody in class. So it's almost like you're getting a private trainer, because I'll put on the screen for one person, I'll put on the screen for another, and then I'll have the whole screen lit up with people, and I can move toward it and watch how people are moving. So I can say to Mitzi, for instance, put your back foot down, turn it in 3/4 or whatever it is. So I don't want people to get hurt. It's all about safety really at the end of the day. And so I'm very on it with the students, just like if I was in their home. The only difference is I can't physically adjust them. I have to just tell them.
And I think it would be good to hear from Mitzi about how she balances motherhood with a life balance and a beauty balance. I mean, how do you make that all work?
And my husband.
Or do you?
That's been really hard. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, that's been really hard, especially since quarantine because my kids have been home. But you know what? I just do what I can. And one of the things about Brenda's class I kind of wanted to mention is because I couldn't be super consistent with other people who are wondering, you start at your level. So I wasn't as strong or as knowledgeable in the class. So Brenda worked with me at my strength level and my capabilities to kind of build up. And then, you know, I'm getting my kids ready for school and making breakfast. So I come into the class a little bit late and she catches me up and I just do the best I can. Maybe I don't do everything 100%. And another thing that I was helping me, like, as far as like the diet and the exercise and the skincare, is Brenda's like, just use the sunscreen. She gives little tips about how to kind of keep the extra water off all through the class and the exercise. So I just kind of do everything at 85% and not 100%, but I try and do it all.
And you still look absolutely amazing. Amazing.
And I think it's a good message to say women don't necessarily have to shoot for perfection.
Right.
That's a message women want to hear and need to hear.
Yeah. And that's what I mean when I say, you know, you can start with lower weights when you're just starting out, because you need to. Wouldn't want anybody that was very thin and frail to get in there and immediately start with a 5 or a 10-pound weight. There's no way. Or even an 8-pounder. I would say start with a 3-pounder and work your way up.
I'm neither thin nor frail, and I started with 3 pounds. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I think John wants to discuss a little bit further the nerves in his feet. Is that going to help with the nerves in his feet?
Is it neuropathy? Is it neuropathy that you have? And so there's just the burning sensation and the tingling in the feet all the time. I've had people in my class that have neuropathy, including my mother, who had multiple myeloma bone cancer, which is one of the reasons why I tried to sculpt, because I was concerned about that being hereditary or happening to me, and I just wasn't going to go there. So I started this. So I don't know. You need to let me know if it's neuropathy. I wish I had a better answer for you, because you can do it with neuropathy, but I need to know what's really happening in your feet.
Well, if John takes one of your classes, then you might be able to connect with him.
John, you're more than welcome to take one of my classes and just take the first one for free and check it out. And I will be on you like a hawk, making sure you're doing things properly. And I always give clues and cues for people. That I have a client that has a bad wrist right now. So instead of her doing 20 push-ups, I have her on her forearms, and I have her on her forearms going left to right to get the obliques in shape. And so she just has to she doesn't have to use her wrists at all. And for her, I don't have her go through vinyasas so that she has to put pressure on her wrists. And also, you guys, in yoga, it's really important that in our wrist crease, our shoulder or the balls of our shoulders are just at the wrist crease. They're not over our fingers, because then you're bringing your wrist back like this. And when you bring your wrist back like that, it's only torture on your wrist, and it's also bad on your elbows and your entire arm. So you want to make sure your shoulders are over your wrist creases. And that helps with when people get sore wrists, because a lot of times when people start yoga, they get very sore in the wrist because they're coming over their fingertips and they're really giving a nice hard, instead of just being here, they're pushing into their fingertips so hard that it hurts the wrist. It's just bad on the whole arm. Right. And I watch that stuff, because that's the simple little things that will make a yogi come in and start doing yoga and immediately go, okay, this isn't for me. My wrists are killing me after this class, or they can get hurt. So it doesn't have anything to do with me and yoga. I'm all about not getting somebody hurt and really watching them and making sure that they are doing the poses right so that they don't get hurt. And so they get the most benefit out of it.
I think that's great. And I've noticed a lot of people that are in your class that, you know, we all have sort of injuries or something that's bothering us on a given day, and you always work with that. You never insist that somebody push through it. You're very careful and very
I'd rather
pragmatic.
give them options. Yeah, I'd rather give them options and other cues to do other things because you can still do the yoga. You just have to be very careful for whatever your issue is. Yeah.
Exactly. Do we have any more questions from anyone else?
Yeah, good idea. Wave at me, put the little blue hand up. So this was awesome, you guys. I'm so glad you joined, all of you.
So thank you everyone for participating and tuning us in. And if you would like to join us, we'd be thrilled to have you on March 11th and April 8th at the same time. We'd be very much looking forward to that. Our April 8th show will include Robert Wagner and his beautiful wife, Jill St. John, and their 2 daughters.
Court, who's right there.
So, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, please come back and join
Thank you,
us.
Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome, Mr. Seidenglantz. Thank you.
Brenda.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, John.
Peg, you're welcome.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
That was awesome.